And good morning. Welcome inside the bottom line. Lanny Ford, Juju Phillips along with you here on a beautiful Monday morning. Got a little rain over the weekend. It was kind of warm still, though. Summertime is far from over. I'll go ahead and tell you. Just go ahead and get ready. It's not over. And this week's going to be 90s as we start second week of high school football.
Scrimmages this week, Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday you'll have scrimmages. And then the first regular season game kicks off next Friday night. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and go to our phones. We've got a guest on the line for us, Mr. Jim Correll from the Hickory Sportsman Club. Thank you, Jim, for joining us.
It's indeed a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, give us the background of your association with the Sportsman Club and a little background about you.
36 years ago, Charles Young, the illustrious attorney in Hickory, we were neighbors. I guess this was 1984, 85 when I moved to Hickory from Winston-Salem. And I had an idea, and I talked to Charles about it, and he said this would do well. And before we actually put together the Sportsman's Club, we bounced the idea off of Bones McKinney, who was a Hickory resident at the time, and he gave us his full blessing and said he would do anything he could to help make it work. So with that, we put together the Hickory Sportsman's Club in 1985, and I guess you can say 36 years later, it's still here, even though we've taken a sabbatical for a year and a half because of COVID. But we have brought in the creme de la creme of the sports world. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you talk about Howard Cosell and George Steinbrenner and the Bobby Bowdens of the world, Bobby Knight, Pete Rose, I mean, you can go on, and we have exposed the club and the members of the club to, like I say, some of the sports pioneers and sports personalities of the country.
Let me give you a sidebar before I turn Juju loose. You talk about Bones McKinney.
Yes.
In I have to think about this, man, 1974, 74-75 school year for me was my ninth grade year, and we had just opened up junior highs in Lincoln County. We had a sports banquet in the spring of 75, and our keynote speaker for that sports banquet was Bones McKinney. Now, the contact was our principal was a huge Wake Forest guy, a guy named Ryan Shelton, and he knew Bones, and that was my first my first touch with having these true sports legend celebrities. You know, here's a little bitty junior high school in Lincoln County, and we got Bones McKinney to come in and speak. So when you said that, I didn't realize he lived in Hickory, but that was even 10 years prior to that that we had, but it was through Mr. Shelton's association.
Hey, Jim, one of the reasons we had you on this morning, obviously, with the passing of Coach Bowden yesterday, and you said he came and spoke. I think I remember the time he was at the Crown Plaza, I believe, but you have the, I guess, privilege of getting to meet these celebrities before they get up and start talking to the group. Give us your recollections and some thoughts on when you remember what Coach Bowden, what he said, what he talked about when he visited the Hickory Sportsman's Club.
Well, and Juju, you're right on. We had two meetings at that time at the Crown Plaza because Lake Hickory, where our home was being renovated. But I can remember Bobby flying in on a Florida, I guess a government plane into Hickory, and we picked him up, I guess, mid-afternoon, and we always would like, if we had time, is to drive the speaker around Hickory just to let them know a little bit about, where they are and the people and what Hickory's known for and so forth. And I tell you, he's what I remember, one of the most genuine, sincere people that you would ever want to meet. He was happy to be here. He just exuded the fact that he was your guest and he wanted you to be happy with him. And that's one of the things I remember about him more than anything. He obviously was a very, very sincere, spiritual man, devout Christian, and he obviously talked about that, and that's what he utilized in his coaching game. But you know, I can remember Bobby. Like I say, he's the type of guy that when you first meet him, you felt like you've known him all your life. Mm-hmm. He just resonated that type of personality, and humorous, and just was. It was just indeed a pleasure being around him. That's the main thing I remember. I mean, I'll tell you a few of some stories that I remember too. But he's just a genuine person, and he will be sorely missed. But what a legend that he is and was.
A couple of other guys you've had on. I think you had Steve Spurrier at one time. I remember back in the 80s, we talk about right now in college football, the Big Four with Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. But back then in the 80s, and once Florida State got rolling, it was either Florida State, Florida, or Miami that were national championship contenders there for a number of years. Did you ever hear any stories about between Coach Bowden and Coach Spurrier and about them going back and forth?
Well, I remember the one thing that Bobby said. He said, probably on my gravestone they're going to say that, yes, but he did play Miami. and he lost a few of those games. Spurrier came along a little later, but still he did, play Bobby. Mm-hmm. But he and Steve's, that's another one. I mean, that's another unique personality, the ball coach. And but one other team you could have thrown in there during that era was Nebraska with mm-hmm. Tom Osborne, who we actually had in Hickory as well. Mm-hmm. So we've been very fortunate, and like I say, people say, well, who are the top three? Well, I'd have to say Bobby Bowden would be up there as far as a personality and as a sincere human being.
I look at the list. We're talking with Jim Correll with the Hickory Sportsman Club. When I look at the list, one of the names that sticks out that's not exactly associated with sports, but a great speaker, and of course we lost him way too soon, was the great Louis Gazard. That's correct. That had to be that had to be a great night to sit and listen to him speak.
Yes, he was quite a personality as well, and he was a big Georgia Bulldog fan, mm-hmm. So he talked a lot about the Georgia Tech rivalry at the time, and he was quite the character and a lot of fun. I remember he said people used to say that all you had to do in Athens is just drive through, and they would throw a diploma in the car. He said, no, you had to stop.
But I can imagine that was a great time listening to him speak.
Oh yes, he was something else.
You go through this list, and some of the folks that I see on here, you really, a lot of folks don't really understand how many high-profile celebrities have made it through Hickory, and people being able to see these people, meet them live, hear them speak, and that opportunity based on what the Hickory Sportsman Club's been able to do.
Well, and that's a valid point. And I remember Bones McKinney making the comment because he would still, go to various places and make speeches himself. But he was in Virginia Beach, and he was talking to some people. He said, we had George Steinbrenner and Hickory. And they said, where? He said, in Hickory. They said, Hickory, North Carolina? How did you get George Steinbrenner in Hickory? But, we just were able to make it happen. And once we got Howard Cosell, that kind of promoted us up to a point where you had credibility. And that's what helped us just continue on.
How were you able to get Terry Bradshaw to come here, 2 or 3 times?
Twice.
Twice,
He was the first one we ever had twice. But we got him the first time I remember getting him. We signed him, but that's right when he signed with, at the time, CBS. And so we had to delay it a year. And but he agreed. He said he would do it the following year. We just had to get the date right, and we did. And he was here, and he loved it. He had a brother that was in the furniture business in Hickory, and I think that was a contact that helped us a little bit at that time.
Hey Jim, I've seen videos of past Hickory Sportsman's Club meetings, especially early on, some of the first, 15 or 20, 25 years. Is there a video or a book in the works of putting out the best of the Hickory Sportsman's Club? You've seen every one of them. I mean, this should be something, could be a heck of a keepsake.
When we had our 25th anniversary, we did do a video highlight. And we have that. Matter of fact, if you'd like one, I'll certainly get it to you because we have plenty of them. But we haven't done anything in the last 10 years as far as a book. But we've had people talk to us about that. So, but like I say, we do have the 25, which is great. I mean, and if you're a sports enthusiast, I think you would enjoy that.
Now, how long? Now, I think you're at Rock Barn now. Is that correct? And how long have you been there?
Well, I actually helped run the Greater Hickory Classic, the Champions Tour event. I did that for the 12 years that we had it. So I had an office down there and managed the event. So that helped with the Sportsman's Club as well, because everything was all inclusive down there. And I still do. I still do go and work out of Rock Barn because that's kind of our home now. And that's I don't have a real active job since I've quasi-retired, but I do stay active in some charities and so forth.
Well, I know you're busy. You've got an appointment this morning, Jim. Thanks for joining us, and we'd love to get you back on again sometime because I'm sure there's lots of tales to tell about the many people that's come through the Sportsman Club and just the things that the Hickory Sportsman Club does for the community.
Well, I would be more than happy to, and Juju knows how to get me, so just anytime I can add something, please feel free to give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help.
We appreciate it, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jim Carell, Hickory Sportsman Club, part of, as you said, a co-founder.
Yeah, he's one of the co-founders.
To get that started, and I've had the privilege of attending one, and that was the one when Rick Barnes was in town. Great event. I was looking at their website, and one of the things said it's not quite as backed up as the Masters, but there's close to 500 on the waiting list just to try to get in. It is a limited number of folks that get in. But if you go to hickorysportsmanclub.com and just pull that up and look at the list of people that have been through Hickory and the opportunity to hear some of these folks speak.
Jim worked for the banking business for a number of years, even going back to the NCNB. He helped organize a lot of high school basketball tournaments, Christmas tournaments, and he's in the Catawba County Sports Hall of Fame. So he lives up to the name of the club.
Native Hickoryan?
I think he is from somewhere down east.
Okay.
Yeah.
But undoubtedly been here for a very long time.
He's been. Quite his family. He had his couple of sons grew up here. One of his sons, Buzzy, is part of the Wolfpack Club with NC State, so there's a connection there. But he's part of the Catawba County Sports Hall of Fame.
There are seven men on the Hickory Sportsman Club Lifetime Achievement Award. Billy Joe Patton, Ned Jarrett, Tom Brown, Don Patrick, Don Beaver, Dale Jarrett, and Rick Barnes. But that's a great organization, and I think there'll be a lot of folks that would be interested in a book or some kind of a video and an opportunity to see some of those things. So great organization. Let me take a time out. We'll come back. We'll catch up. Let me welcome some folks in. Richie, good morning. Milton, Andrew, good morning. Kenny Weaver, Petra, good morning. Mary Reynolds, good morning. Bill Klein, Tatum, good morning. Glad to have all you folks. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more here on The Bottom Line.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Stiefel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stiefel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
And welcome back. Bob Duckworth, thanks for joining in this morning. Bob says Jim is from Winston-Salem. Played football and graduated from Elon. Great guy. Butch says 1994, the Maiden High School football staff went to Tallahassee to learn the FSU offense. Coach Bowden asked Coach Brown how many games he had won. Tommy told him, and Coach Bowden said, "Dang, man, you tired of winning? Why you want to stop running the option?" He was a genuine guy. Fun times. I don't fix things that ain't broke. I'm funny that way.
Yeah.
Ryan Willis, good morning, bud. Hope you're doing well.
Jim mentioned that Coach Bowden was here. He came with a couple of times outside of the Sportsman's Club, I believe, when the local FCA group brought him in as a guest speaker. And my understanding is that the one time, I think he was promoting a book one time, but it was very moving. He was very good. Very good. And he got to a point where I heard this yesterday, that in his later years at Florida State, he knew a lot of his former players, the guys that were on scholarship. He didn't know the guys that necessarily were the walk-ons. He'd call him son or have a nickname for him, but he didn't know their real names. But he was somebody that probably put Florida State on the map, no doubt, right? He and Burt Reynolds. You know, Burt Reynolds went to Florida State.
I couldn't remember if it was Florida or Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State in the 60s, I believe.
Running back.
Yeah, running back, number 22.
Yeah. You get an opportunity to – good morning, TJ. You get an opportunity to watch all the Hall of Fame?
I did. I watched just about every second of it.
I had forgotten about it. I caught parts of it. You're the most impressive speaker?
I would probably – speaker or message?
Message.
I would probably say Troy Polamalu, because he spoke about his culture, about –
very genuine,
yeah.
Drew Pearson was very genuine too.
He was.
Yeah, because it's about him.
It's all about him.
Do you remember him from the old what was the Ford dealership in Charlotte? Him, Catfish Hunter.
Yeah.
Bill Elliott. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We talked about this before out on Independence Boulevard.
Yeah.
What was his name? Awesome Bill.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And the thing that, you know, he had to give up his dealerships because of the shady dealings to get financing.
Oh,
he
really?
lost all of his dealerships. Yes.
Okay, I'm sure somebody will remember that. But
Richie said Burt Reynolds was able to get the Florida State team new uniforms after the equipment truck caught fire on the way to an away game. Can't remember where they were going to play.
Oh, wow.
Burt used some connections and money, no doubt.
And, you know, when Bobby Bowden first started, they say, well, they didn't have the right facilities. Their facilities were not – heck, everybody's facilities were, you know, less than – I mean, nobody had really great facilities back in the 70s, but they played everybody. And they were an independent school, and they went to Nebraska. They went to Penn State. They played Notre Dame. That's what put them on the map, is because they were able to get the money from going. And then they started beating some of these teams, and they still continue to play them wherever. I mean, sometimes they came and played at Florida State, but that was the most impressive thing, that he was not bashful of taking his teams, even though they only won like 3 or 4 games in the previous 4 years before he was head coach, and they just went anywhere and played whomever. And that was one of the more impressive things that got Florida State on the map.
Vander, good morning. Glad to have you with us this morning as well. David and him talked a little bit about it Saturday, trying to relate. Could you relate Thursday night's game to anything? They related it to, not making any cuts here, don't mean no disrespect, to JV girls basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think the game was that bad. I was so excited just to see football. I didn't care who was playing. And, it wasn't a great game, kind of sloppy, what you would think, but still, it was football. Football was out there.
There weren't as many penalties and fumbles and interceptions as you might have guessed for a first game like that. With the Steelers and the Cowboys, and obviously
Harrelson Ford. Lewis F.
Harrelson. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Richie.
I took away that from the Cowboys' perspective, they got to get a better defense, and some of their starters did play and looked okay. The Steelers they're rebuilding their offensive line. They got a new running back. Number one running back. They have a new offensive coordinator. They have a new offensive line coach. They have a new tight ends coach. They have a lot of weapons, rookie weapons that they're trying to sprinkle in to add to a 39-year-old quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. So there were things that I was looking for as a fan, and they did it was a scrimmage. You're right. It was a glorified scrimmage. Mm-hmm. And I would think that they're looking for a backup quarterback, and I think Dwayne Haskins looked better than Mason Rudolph did, in my opinion. So, yeah, there were some things to pull from it. I don't think we'll see anything resembling a real NFL exhibition game until another week or two, probably 2 weeks from now.
There's only
three,
so I'm guessing the starters will play more in the second game. Used to be the third game. They would play a half, maybe one series into the second half, but I'm guessing it'd be the second game.
Yeah.
Because that last game's usually that's what they use to determine who they're going to cut and get down to the 53.
Yeah, that's right. And this year, there are only two teams that have the 4 games, and that's the Steelers and the Cowboys. Everybody else is opening up this week, Thursday and Friday and Saturday, I believe. So they only got 3 weeks to get ready, and this coming off some of the off seasons where a lot of these teams did not get a chance to work out. And who knows, you throw in COVID, some of these guys aren't getting vaccinated, they're not practicing. In the Steelers' case, T.J. Watt, one of the best pass rushers in the league, isn't practicing, hasn't practiced in a couple of weeks. He's holding out for a new contract extension. So some of these guys, starters, aren't playing. I mean, you look at the Cowboys, Dak Prescott is questionable. He's coming back from his ankle injury. So, yeah.
But it's not the ankle that's the problem. It's the shoulder.
Well, I'm sure the ankles are going to be a little bit of an issue.
He said the ankle was good. I saw a little interview with him during the game, I guess it was. But the shoulder's just on a day-to-day thing, and that's not good.
No.
When it says day-to-day. That's never good. Talking about let's see. Keevers gave me something here. Keever said, and it was NFL preseason football in general, not that particular game.
Yeah.
When they were talking about, it's like watching girls JV basketball. Mm-hmm. Well, when the starters play in that one game for at least, a quarter or a half, it's not bad. But as you said, you kind of got to go through these paces. Do I like it? No. Would I just as soon that they have inter-squad scrimmages that were maybe on the NFL Network and not these games and not charge for the tickets, but that's never going to happen.
So and if you've seen some of these practices the NFL teams have, very few of these teams even have the pads on and are out there hitting and scrimmaging anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's more walkthroughs and football in shorts.
Going back to the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's run by a guy named David Baker. He's the president, and he's been known as the Knock. Okay, because he knocks on the door. Now, as I do with everything, I go down a Google hole. When I see something, who is this guy? He's massive, and he is. He is 6'9", nearly 400 pounds.
Got a booming voice.
And he's called the Knock, okay, because he goes and he knocks on the door. Those were great when he informed Bill Cowher and Jimmy Johnson.
Sure was.
And both of them hated it because they did not want to break down on TV.
And they did.
It was funny. Bill Cowher said, I don't want to do this now. And David said, well, we just won't do it. I'll go, no. And they did it live. Now, here's the thing, and this is where I got into this. He is a lawyer, or was a lawyer. He played basketball.
Okay.
Played in Europe a little bit. He has seen the Hall of Fame experience its greatest financial results in its 53-year history. During his in the first 3 years of leading the Hall, the assets grew by 161%. Okay? He said that he is branded, there's a Hall of Fame Village. It's got 9 components. It's a $600 million project. It's got the Pro Football Hall of Fame Museum, the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium and Entertainment Complex, a 4-star hotel and conference center, player care center, including Legends Landing Senior Living, state-of-the-art National Football and Youth Sports Complex. I mean, it just goes on and on what he's done. And one of the things that I was surprised, he played basketball at UC Irvine and then played in Europe, played for a team in Switzerland, played worldwide for a Christian basketball team. And after 2 seasons, he went to Pepperdine School of Law, even served as the editor-in-chief of the Law Review, which is pretty good when you get that title in law school.
Yeah.
Following that, he entered politics, where he served as mayor and a councilman for Irvine, California. However, when looking to further his political career, this was the part that surprised me. He pled guilty to a forgery charge, and that ended his political aspirations. And I was I was a little bit surprised. But he joined the Arena Football League.
Okay, there you go. There's a football connection then.
With the Anaheim Pirates, he was an owner. Then he became the commissioner after a year, 97. He led it for 12 years, and then he left in 2008. And under his leadership, AFL became a profitable league and was in discussion to hold an exhibition in Germany when he resigned. When he ran the league, the cost of a franchise went from $175,000 to $32 million during his tenure. The league had fast become one of the most fan-friendly in the world. Then he served as managing partner for a place called Union Village in Nevada. It's the first integrated health village in the world. Then he left that in 2014 to become the president of the Hall of Fame.
But no real connection to the NFL except for the arena ball.
Yes.
And for him to get and take over the Hall of Fame. I have not been. I drove by.
On my bucket list.
Yeah, 2 summers ago. I've been there 3 times, I guess. Twice when I was really young. It's only about an hour and 45-minute drive from where I grew up at in Western PA. And then I went back again in 1995 when the Panthers played the Jags in the first ever game. And it was growing then. But I was told that with all the Steelers that went in this year, 5 of them, in fact, and it being basically a 4-day pilgrimage, right? Thursday game, Friday ceremonies, and then Saturday and Sunday, that the hotels in and around Canton and other towns have been booked for 8 to 9 months ahead of time. So it would have been neat to go there to see that. You asked me about the speeches, and again, I thought Troy's was very good, but so was Peyton Manning, and he was right to the point, was funny, clever, and very poignant at the very end.
How about the booing of Tom Brady when he recognized him, which I thought was kind of bad. Tommy's turned into a decent guy, but there were a lot of people tried to override.
And he
that
turned
booing.
around and said, "What?
Yeah.
Well, what's that
up
for?"
with this? Yeah. So I thought it was nice of him to come.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that was really good. I thought that was class for him to do that. Richie asked a question. You may know this. Link also had a comment, said, many of my friends and I are done with the NFL, and in the past they were very excited about the upcoming NFL season. I'm just not going to listen to the political rhetoric. If I have to turn the volume down, I just want to watch them play football. That's all. I just want to watch them play football. Do they use the Pro Football Hall of Fame field for anything else but that game?
I think, in the past it's been a high school stadium.
That's what Richie.
And they've expanded it. I mean, when the last time I was there, I stood in the stands, but the press box is now like a professional football press box, but it's 23,000. I'm guessing they still play some high school football there.
It's called the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium.
Is Tom Benson from Ohio? I mean, why?
I don't know. You know, he was the owner of the Saints.
And where's the connection there, I wonder?
Maybe it'll tell. It's the home to other events throughout the year, including concerts and numerous athletic events, football, lacrosse, and soccer. The premium seating area will hold 500 guests. The club seating, 400 guests. Then they've got a club lounge for 50 guests. They've got luxury suites.
I'm trying to remember in '95 when the Panthers played and I was there. I still think it was grass. I don't know if it was turf or not. They've since turfed it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
When I was there as a little kid, if you remember, the old Hall of Fame was like a football standing upside down.
Yes.
And a couple of buildings on each side, and it wasn't nearly of what it looks like today. I mean, it was.
And Andrew says, I want to tune in right at kickoff. This eliminates most of the junk and political garbage. I will watch the pregame show unless it goes off the rails. If it goes off the rails, I don't. Milton said, ultimate respect is what TB12 is showing. And I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. This kills my wife because she wants to hate him. And now she can't because he's turned in to be a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I think there's a lot of people like that. Let me take a break. And we come back, we'll get into a few more things. Bobby Bowden, I didn't know this till I saw the movie. Bobby Bowden was at West Virginia, and he kind of helped Marshall get restarted a little bit, which was a great story as well. Back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. Helps to turn my mic on. Now, welcome back. That always helps when I do that. Keeper sent me a text and said that comparison to NFL preseason was a listener comparison. He didn't want to take credit for that JV girls basketball.
Second half, and definitely the second half, was a whole lot different than, say, the first half.
It's bad.
But if you're a fan of a college and you have a player that is trying to make a roster, or even if you're something like that, then, you're watching it more intently, spotlighting a specific player.
Wesley sent me a text at Friday night at like 11 o'clock. In case you're up, which was his first mistake. That's not happening. I think it was the Calgary team was playing CFL football, and, of course, Armani still plays there. Armani Edwards was at Appalachian and had a short career at the Panthers. He's doing very well as a wide receiver.
I didn't know he still played Canadian Football League.
And that's about the only time I tune in to Canadian football is if I can catch him playing.
Was it on ESPN or Fox? What was it on?
That I do not know. But all the games are covered. You can find them. I mean, it's not hard to get them.
Yeah.
Let me I want to touch on this Bobby Bowden thing just for a second. This is an article that ESPN did, and the title of it said Florida State will why Bobby Bowden's historic run at Florida State will never be duplicated. Well, the first part of that is going to be the amount of time spent at one school.
Yeah.
Those days are over. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It was
unless you're at a smaller school like a Division II, Division III school.
Yep. It's just not going to happen that I can see. Of course, Bobby Bowden passed away at the age of 91 on Sunday, and he was he's a legend. That's really, I guess, what you could say. Longest streaks of top 5 finishes by an FBS coach. Bobby Bowden had 14 top 5 finishes in consecutive. Consecutive.
Yeah.
The next closest is Bud Wilkinson at Oklahoma and Pete Carroll at Southern Cal with 7. Half. Dabo at 6, Clemson through the present. Ara Parsegian at Notre Dame from 66 to 70 with 4. With 3.
Where's Nick Saban, right?
He is at he's got 4 in a row as top 5.
What year did they not finish out of the top 5? Recently.
Frank Leahy at Notre Dame, John Voight, Ole Miss, Darrell Royal at Texas, Barry Switzer at Oklahoma, Dennis Erickson at Miami, Spurrier at Florida, and Saban from 15 to 18. And maybe that's before the playoffs.
Okay.
It must, because didn't the playoffs start in 19?
Yes.
Because Nick is 15 to 18 with that 4. And that's when it changed, because up until then it was based on your AP rankings and stuff.
Yeah.
So 14 straight top 5 finishes. Now, Nick Saban's current run of 6 national titles in 12 seasons, because it's rings involved, but Bama finished 7th or worse 3 times.
Okay.
In the conference.
We just assume because it's been Alabama recently under Nick Saban that they're in the top 5 all the time.
The Seminoles beat 27 top 10 teams in that span and averaged 4 All-Americans a year.
Yeah.
Won 2 national titles, reached 2 more BCS championship games, and only lost to a given season's national champion on 2 other occasions. And it says that if there had been a 4-team college playoff had been in existence at that time, they had been a favorite to win even more rings.
And they played one heck of a schedule. They were an independent until they came
for a long time, until they came to ACC. Yeah,
and they dominated the ACC for the first however many years. But for them to play that kind of non-conference schedule and for them to do that is just amazing. Where nowadays you see a lot of schools, either teams don't want to play them, but Florida State said, yeah, we'll play you if you want us to come to Nebraska or Notre Dame or Michigan or wherever, we'll come play you.
College football playoff started in 14, according to Richie and Andrew.
Oh, I thought you meant the 4. When did that start, as opposed to just the 2?
That would have been 14.
Yeah. Okay.
So the 2 teams started in 14, and then
expanded to 4.
Yeah, I guess. Andrew says they also owned the record for the fastest fall off in NCAA history too, Florida State. It was 45 years ago when FSU boosters pulled together enough money to buy out Darryl Madra out of his contract after just 2 years. They wanted to win big. They didn't know what they were looking for, and Bobby Bowden showed them. For better or worse, his successes might not be replicated, but at least college football saw them once.
Did I read somewhere that one of not on his staff, but maybe that guy you were mentioning, or a guy on a previous staff who was the head coach, Bill Parcells started at Florida State as a coach, assistant coach. Joe Gibbs started, I think, at Florida State as an assistant coach.
All right.
I know I'm not 100% sure about Gibbs, but I am sure that Parcells coached at Florida State at some point and went to the Air Force or vice versa. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm looking to see. Now, you can get the head coaches, but it's not all the staff.
Maybe under Bill Peterson. Look under Bill Peterson.
Okay, that would have been 60 to 70.
I think that's when.
That was 3 coaches before Bobby Bowden. Bobby Bowden was there from 76 to 09. And the guy that they bought out his contract went 4-18 in 2 years. Before that, Larry Jones went 15-19. And then Bill Peterson that you're talking about went 62, 42, and 11. Bobby Bowden went 304, 97, and 4.
Bill Peterson left Florida State to go coach the Houston Oilers in the AFL or the NFL, I guess, and I think that's where he went. He wasn't very good.
But Jimbo Fisher just barely has the highest winning percentage in his 8 seasons at 783. He went 83-23 and got fired. Bobby Bowden was there for 34 years. Don't think you'll ever see that again. Maybe not. But Richie said Gibbs did coach under Peterson at FSU before coaching under McKay at Southern Cal.
Okay. And I know Parcells was an assistant coach at Florida State. I don't know who he coached under. It may have been Bill Peterson as well.
No, I didn't ask. Assistant coaches. There's where I didn't Google it right.
Yeah.
5 most accomplished former FSU assistants. How about that?
There's Joe Gibbs.
Bill Parcells. Don James.
Went to coach at Washington.
Joe Gibbs. Mark Rick.
Okay, yeah.
Forget about him.
Yeah.
You think of is Georgia with him. Still think he got the wrong deal.
He was off.
Skip Holtz.
Skip Holtz. Yeah.
He still ain't great. Here's honorable mentions: Dan Henning, Kirby Smart, Mark Stoops.
Dan Henning had a heck of a career, right? A long time coach in the NFL.
3rd and 73, run the draw.
With the Panthers. They got the Super Bowl one year, right?
Run the draw. Run the draw.
Didn't they go to the Super Bowl with
Yes, and he ran the draw. That's all I'm going to say.
They had a good running game. Mr. Davis and they had a really strong running game.
I'm looking to see. They've got the Bobby tree. One of those, Brad Scott, never cared for him. He was a chicken. Then he came back to Clemson. His son still coaches there. Daryl Dickey, okay, played with Daryl. Mark Rick. There are a total of 120 head coaching years, not counting his, in the Bobby Bowden tree.
Wow.
120 head coaching years. That's pretty impressive right there. One of those was Bill Snyder.
I didn't know. Bill, the guy at Kansas State, longtime coach.
I believe that's correct.
Did not know that.
Bo Pelini, Brett Bielema, which is in Snyder's tree, which came out of Bobby Bowden's tree.
Okay.
Okay. I was looking to see if it just gave me
Those
a list.
trees get their branches mixed up sometimes, I believe.
And they didn't. The greatest ones would be Parcells, Marty Schottenheimer, and Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
That's what it says.
Hey, you were asking about the Hall of Fame. I read a story over the weekend. A guy wrote an article about the guy that does the busts.
Oh, okay.
The artists.
Yeah.
The guy was a walk-on football player at Brigham Young University. He was on scholarship for being an artist. He played. He was a teammate of Jim McMahon and left-hander Young.
Steve Young?
Steve Young. He was teammates. He was a wide receiver and a running back, and he didn't have much of a career, but played a little bit for Brigham Young. And one thing led to another, and Eddie DeBartolo, who was the owner of the San Francisco 49ers, wanted somebody to do something, and this guy stepped in and did some kind of artist rendering. And he said, is there any – and apparently DeBartolo loved it so much. He said – DeBartolo said, is there anything I could ever do for you? He said, well, I'd love to work in the NFL for the Hall of Fame. And he said, okay, I'll make some calls. And eventually it happened like 2 or 3 years later.
That's what I'm talking about. I'll make some calls.
But the guy was a walk-on football player and was on scholarship for being like an artist or painter or something.
Now, before we do on this day, let me clear up a couple of things. 2014 was the last time Alabama was not in the top 25. Okay?
Okay.
The reason Saban's streak is where it's at is in 2019, according to Keever, Alabama finished eighth in the AP poll, and that's the year that Clemson lost to LSU.
Okay.
So that's where Lick doesn't have – he may have 2 4-year streaks, but they're just not –
They lost to Auburn and again
I mean, being in the top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. But, yeah. And the guy said, back to the guy with the artist renderings, he said he spent anywhere from 80 to 100 hours per person doing those busts per person.
They're really good.
I mean, fascinating story.
Yeah. All right. Before we do, here we go. Assistants under Bowden who went on to become NCAA head coaches: Brad Scott, Mark Rick, Chuck Amato, Tommy Bowden, Terry Bowden, Rick Stockstill, Skip Holtz, Kirby Smart, Daryl Dickey, Jimbo Fisher, and Manny Diaz.
That's impressive. Chuck Amato was in the crowd at the Hall of Fame.
Shook the chest.
Yeah. Did you know he's the one that recruited Bill Cowher to come to NC State?
He was on staff when I was recruited.
Okay.
Yeah, Chuck the Chest. He was a teammate of my high school coach, Dennis Bird.
All right.
As well as Jim Donnan. Jim Donnan was the quarterback of that team. Those three guys were on the team together.
Yeah.
On this day, sir.
On this day in sports history, one event that happened yesterday, I wanted to mention it. On this 1976, on August the 8th, the Chicago White Sox became the first baseball team in history to wear shorts during a game. They wore shorts during a doubleheader, and during the doubleheader, the team wearing shorts stole 8 bases, went 8 for 8 in stolen bases. They had you didn't see? Remember that? They had the collar shirts.
I saw a clip sometime over the weekend of a softball game, and I can't remember if it was 92 or 96, and the girls were playing in shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to play in shorts in softball.
They had the baseball team wore shorts that one year.
Wow.
And had collars, the old-fashioned collars, like from the 1880s, I guess. Who knows? Also, on this day in sports history, first night game in Chicago Cubs history at Wrigley Field happened in 1988.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Wasn't it the last Major League Stadium to get lights?
Yeah, sure was. 1936, the famous Jesse Owens earned his fourth gold medal at the Olympics. At the Berlin Olympics, became the first American to ever win 4 gold medals. 1975, the New Orleans Superdome officially opened when the Saints played their first ever game there. 1981, Major League Baseball resumed play after their first ever midseason strike. They played the All-Star game in Cleveland, and that was the first game before they went on to play the second half of the season. Had they been on strike, I guess, the first half of the season. That was their first ever strike in the midseason. 1925, first and only time Babe Ruth was pinch hit for. Babe, come on back here. So-and-so, get up off the bench. We're going to send it in. And he got pinch hit for. 1988, Edmonton Oilers traded Wayne Gretzky to the Los Angeles Kings, the superstar. And in 2005, and on most time, early August, EA Sports has released Madden. They usually release Madden sometime in early August.
The Madden cover curse.
Yes, yeah. The Madden NFL. In 2005, 2008, and 2012, they released Madden NFL on this date, August 9th. So there you go.
I don't play games. I'm not a video game guy.
Yeah.
Todd, good morning. 1905, Ty Cobb's mother, Amanda, killed her husband because she had mistaken him for a burglar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You didn't know that,
I
did
didn't
you?
know that.
Yeah. There's your – he was pinch hit for Bobby Vetch. Flies out. That's who pinch hit for.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any others that I got. Did you do the 8 night games?
The 8
1946, first time all Major League Baseball games, all 8 were played at night.
Wow.
The first time in 1946. Satchel Paige was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame on this day in 1971. There's the Gretzky. And lots of cricket. On this day in 2002, Barry Bonds hit number 600.
Oh, wow.
Was he really a Hall of Famer before we did the roids?
I think so.
Okay. Everybody says that, and I don't follow it that closely. So
he was pretty much every sense except in the playoffs. He didn't do very well in the playoffs for the Pirates. They won the Eastern Division back in the early 90s 3 years in a row and didn't do well in the playoffs. Braves fans know that because he stunk it up against Atlanta.
2016. In 2016, Michael Phelps won his 20th gold medal.
Wow.
And that was in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, wow. Hey, the Olympics next year. Do you know that?
Yeah, that'd be the winter.
Winter Olympics.
Because they're already talking about the 2024. This swimmer, Katie Lochte, in 2016 wins her second gold medal, okay? But what makes it interesting is she's doing a commercial right now about talking about diversifying, and she took up archery, and it's all about a credit card, how you can buy more gear with this credit card. And she started with a real simple bow and arrow, and I guess she's taking it up as another sport because she can't swim, because she went in to buy some gear, and one guy was in there going, "Don't you?" I thought that was pretty interesting. Got some birthdays?
Got some birthdays today. A lot of guys born on this day. Mike Schilt, baseball manager with the St. Louis Cardinals, born in Charlotte. Maybe even Gastonia, but he's 53 today. Kevin Mack played at Clemson, right? Football player, NFL. Kings Mountain native is 59. Primetime, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, as he's want to be called.
Is that what he wants to be called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone called him Coach Sanders, and he walked out of the press conference.
Little ego there, little ego.
Yeah. Anyway, he's 54 today. Speaking of Florida State, of course. Jamarcus Russell, quarterback, number 1 pick in the NFL.
And use that term loosely.
Bust, 36 years young today. Cliff Kingsbury, who's the coach with the Cardinals, is 41. Doug Williams, Grambling, Redskins quarterback, MVP in the Super Bowl, turns 66 today. I think this next guy's still in the league. Matt Moore, former Panther.
Maybe.
I think
he was last year.
Yeah, he was last year. He's 37, turns 37 today. John Capoletti, running back, Penn State. Heisman Trophy winner, 69 today. Jim Kick, lost Jim Kick this past year, I believe.
Butch Cassidy, Sundance
Kid. Miami Dolphins.
Zonka.
Yep. Number, 21? I think it was 21.
Zonka was 30.
Anyway, he would have turned 75 today. The father of Patrick Mahomes, Pat Holmes, who was a baseball pitcher, turns 51 today.
Wow.
Jason Hayward, baseball player with the Cubs and Cardinals, came up with the Braves, slugger, left-handed, 32 today. And Baseball Hall of Famer Ted Simmons. Ted Simmons turns 72 today.
I've got
the Braves for a while.
Couple of passings of note. George Preston Marshall,
owner of the Redskins.
Passed away in 1969 at the age of 72. And we lost the great Frank Gifford on this day in 2015, 6 years, at the age of 84. Yeah. Hard to believe it's been that long ago.
I know.
It seemed like you just heard him on the air, you know. It's
I saw last night Night Court star Markie Post.
Yes.
She passed away.
No.
Yeah. She was 70.
I'm a huge Markie Post
fan.
fan. Fall Guy. She was on the Fall Guy. She was the
with Lee Majors.
Yeah, what do you call him?
Yeah. I remember.
Not a bookie. Bail bondsman. I think she was a bail bondsman. Birthday on this day, 1928, Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy, great guard with the Boston Celtics.
Cousy, yep. Rod Laver.
Rocket Rod.
1938 on this day. Kenny Norton. Born on this day in 1943. I can't believe he's been gone. He passed away in 2013. I didn't realize that. And I never realized that Jim Kick had 2 eyes in his name.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I missed that somewhere along the way. You remember John Hot Rod Williams? Played for the Phoenix Suns in the old ABA or in the NBA.
He played with Cleveland, I remember, too. That's the same Hot Rod Williams.
Born in 1962. Brett Hull, born on this day in 1964 from the hockey world. Vinny Del Negro.
NC State guard.
1966. There's Prime. A lot of birthdays today.
Which means they were conceived in and around the Christmas holidays, right?
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, we'll stop on that one. I think, I'm making no promises, but I think the infamous mysterious man, For Rembert, will be back in studio tomorrow. Have a great day. We'll see you. It's Monday.